happening?
I did too. I was like, what is happening? It was bothering him that the door was slightly open.
Slightly.
Too much sounds permeating.
That's next chapter. Find the amount of time required for a $2,000 investment to double.
So what is this, like double life?
No, this is interest. If the annual interest rate R is compounded first annually. So, just as a refresher, A of t equals a sub 0 times 1 plus r over k raised to the kt. So my a sub 0 is that $2,000. A of t is 4,000 because we're trying to get it to double. So compounded annually means one time per year, so this means that k is equal to 1. And then we just get to plug in. I'm going to put the 4,000 on the right side because then I don't have to flip everything when I go to take my log later. So 2,000 times 1 plus... Oh, they also told me my rate. I was like, something is missing. R is 8.25%. There we go. Now we have all the information. So 1 plus 0.0825 divided by 1
I like that.
raised to the 1 times t. Obviously, I wouldn't ordinarily write it, but I am for right now.
Raised to the 1t. Is that another name for 10?
ID 10t.
That's what it reminded me of.
I do 10t.
All I heard.
Do you know what that means?
ID 10T? Wait, what did you say?
Do you know what it means?
I
Don't
do.
say it out loud if you do, but do you know what it means?
ID 10T?
ID 10t.
ID 10T.
Write it out.
I was about to write TEN.
I know, that's why I was trying to see what you were going to write. No, that's what my dad used.
I've never heard that.
Not gonna lie,
I'm gonna start
I
using
was
that.
thinking you were just saying identity really easily.
So you didn't know either, Joe?
There was another one my dad used to do. Hold on. When somebody would call and tell them they had a tech issue. PEGCAC. Problem exists between keyboard and chair.
Oh.
And
User error.
scale issue.
Alright, so this is 1.0825 raised to the t equals 2.
I was wondering what the 2,000 might be.
Josh was like, something's wrong. Something's not right. How do we undo an exponential?
A log.
Beautiful. So I get a lovely log base 1.0825 of 2 equals t.
How round do you want it?
2.
8.7. What?
8.74.
Oh.
No, I was laughing because Josh was like, how many decimal places do you want? And then I said it, and then he was like, And then, like, the words came out of your mouth instead of his.
I was so confused. I thought I did something like terribly wrong.
No, we were just laughing because he was literally about to say the answer out, and then you just were like, 8.7.
You did
Yeah, I
miss the
did
decimal
miss.
place though. So.
In my mind, I heard you say 2, so I was like, okay, 8.7. And then, but I thought it was like gonna be like 3,000 or something. But I got it like horribly. I was like, why are you laughing?
Because he looked and he was like, what?
He was confused.
He was like, I thought I was answering this question, but I guess not.
I
I
stole
didn't
it out
say.
from
I
under
didn't
you.
tell you to take this one.
Well, you paused, so I thought you would just sometimes you ask and then you just let me take it. So that's what I thought was happening.
That was just so funny. All right, if it's compounding monthly, what is K?
12.
So same thing except for it's now 12 instead of 1. 2,000 times 1 plus 0.0825 divided by 12 raised to the 12t equals 4,000. So 1 plus whatever that is.
So we can just write a 1 plus whatever that is.
Yeah. To the 12t equals 2. And then the log base, whatever that is.
Log base, whatever.
Log base
So we
1 plus 0.0825 over 12 of 2 equals 12t.
I'll let you take this one, Josh.
Then we
Thank
would
you.
divide it by 12. I'm just going to get rid of this and do this in one step because, you know.
It is supposed to be years, right?
Yeah. The formula is technically 4 years, but sometimes we do stuff in terms of months, like, but they would have to tell us that up front. So,
I wasn't sure if since it was monthly, it turned into months.
oh, no. Still years. Technically, I guess all the time you would get it in years, and then you may have to convert to months if they want it in months. Because technically the formula is 4 years. So,
Gotcha.
all right, quarterly. What does that mean? Yep. $2,000 times 1 plus whatever that is, 0.0825 over 4 raised to the 4t equals 4,000. 1 plus 0.8025 over 4 raised to the 4t equals 2. Log base, whatever that is. Of 2 equals 4t. And divide by 4. I do think it's interesting that this is like in here when you've definitely like learned this like in pre-cal and it's not even using calculus to like solve it.
Yeah. I don't know. But I don't mind it.
Good refresher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't particularly. Well, I don't dislike it because it's like easy. It's just remembering what the formula is.
take me a second.
Do you already have it, Josh? Just say it.
I'm 8.49
See if I get the same thing.
Just make sure she knows how to type it in.
Yeah.
She's gonna be like 8.4.
And then just stop. Okay, I got it.
All right, the last one. Continuously. What does that mean?
It never stops.
No.
Every day.
I guess that could work, but no.
Every minute. Every second.
How about that special formula? PERT.
I forgot about that.
A of t equals a sub 0 e to the rt. So I've got 2,000 e to the 0.0825 t equals 4,000. E to the 0.0825 t equals 2. ln of 2 equals 0.0825 t. And we divide t equals ln of 2 over 0.0825. So which option would you want?
Continuously, please.
Is it really that different if we did monthly, quarterly, ultimately?
Not really.
Still, I'd rather the continuous.
I mean, yeah, if I had to pick, I'm choosing continuously every time, no matter what, but
Just a tiny bit faster, just a few days, but those
What are
days
we
make
even
a
like?
difference.
What is happening in these years? I have no idea what's going on.
the money is basically just sitting in an account not being touched, and we're trying to get it to double. It's kind of like you start a savings account and you want your money to double, so you just don't ever touch it. So you basically just like drop it off at the bank and you're like, here's $2,000. And then you calculate, okay, if it stays, but it also is assuming it stays at that interest rate. And like, unless you get something like a CD or something that's like, is going to hold its rate, then it's not really necessarily a guarantee. Cause like we have like a savings account, through like Discover, and they change their rate every month, but their rate is really high.
Yeah.
So like you can make a ridiculous amount of money just by letting your money sit there.
That's kind of nice. Because I was doing a thing where I was saving my cash for a while, but then like I realized it's probably like it's not like getting interest or anything on it. So then we've like switched it so it's like a card. Because like it was fun to save the cash because like then you just it's not like
I used to do that with like some, or like at birthdays or something, I would like go put some in my like bank account like that could like earn interest that I really didn't ever touch it. And then like I had this like little bank in my room, and I had a thing for a car fund, so I would take some of the money and put it in my little car fund, and then I like would keep some out to spend. So it was kind of like, but like I was saving it. But yes, in the grand scheme of things, if my middle school mind had understood that it would have been better to just put it all in the bank, it would have been better than what I did. But
such and such.
most people don't understand that, and it's really hard to explain that to a kid. Be like, look how much more money you would have if you put this in the bank than you hold it at like in your house.
It's like now I can see it.
Yeah. And so like that's why like, when you're like choosing like a savings account or something, like a credit union's always going to be better than like a classic just like bank, like a Bayport or like those like teacher credit unions and stuff like that. They're going to always earn way more interest than like a Wells Fargo, a Chase, whatever. I don't even know what they all are. The few that pop in my head. Anyways. But they're always going to earn more because a credit union can afford to give more than, well, I don't know if they really can afford it, but they try to get, like, that's how they, like, earn your business, kind of. So.
Like your trust and whatnot by giving you more money.
And a lot of times credit unions
Giving
have,
money
like,
for
a
money.
better insurance plan, too. So, like, if something happens, like, to your money, which I don't really, that whole concept just always baffles me. I don't understand. I feel like money's just, like, in thin air somewhere. But anyways, I don't know.
Yeah.
Give you more money
But, like,
for
in
your
theory, like, if something were to get hacked or whatever, like, I guess, like, if your account gets hacked, they can, like, give you your money back
That's nice.
and stuff. Like, if, like, somebody steals your card and, like, goes and buys a bunch of stuff with it, like, you can get your money back because it would be fraud. And so, like, a credit union, I think a lot of times has a better, like, fraud policy. And also, because it's smaller scale, they're not having to dish out as many, like, refunds for things as, like, a giant, like, a Wells Fargo that's literally, like, nationwide, or, like, a Bank of America is having to do. So, I don't know. Anyways, little mini rant about
Thanks.
if only people understood. Find a savings account somewhere that has a high interest rate and go with that. It'll be better for you in the long run. All right. You may have had this in your notes, but I just want to have it as a reference.
Do you
But-
think I'd have enough space on like this half of my page to do any of these?
Do you want yourself crammed together? Okay.
Thank you.
I mean, it's not wide, but like, I don't know. I mean, mine's not that wide, if that helps you. But this is like a new like set of problems. These are all word problems. I'm just not going to write the whole word problem out.
Might as well start on the page.
All right, so 22. Well, we'll have some half-life, some bacteria growth. Newton's law of cooling. That's it.
So, question. Does half equal ln of 2 over k plus life?
Ha ha ha. All right, half-life. An isotope of neptunium, NP240, has a half-life of oh, I got hair in my mouth, of 65 minutes. If the decay of NP240 is modeled by the differential equation dy dt, Josh's favorite, equals negative ky,
Why
where t is measured in minutes, what is the decay constant k? So this seems like something that you should have to do this like dramatic amount of work for. But you don't.
Nice.
I mean, I don't know how else to put it. The half-life is 65. It's equal to the ln of 2 over k.
Wow.
So I literally just need to swap k and 65. And get k equals the ln of 2 over 65.
I like that.
So why did they give us all that other stuff?
I don't know. But this is literally the formula and it gives you the right answer. So I don't know.
Works for me.
Like I said, you would think you should be using calculus to do this stuff, but you don't need to.
How far out should we go?
You're going to need to go to 3 because of this particular decimal, but
0.011.
yeah. Because if you didn't, I think it was going to be like 0.01. Yeah. I was like, go out at least one more only. I would say if there's ever like a 0 after the decimal, just go to 2 actual numbers. That's probably the easiest way to do it.
And there's no like units or anything.
No, this is just how how do they define it? K is just the rate constant for whatever that substance is. So it's almost like our spring constant, but for half-life. Bad analogy, but you get the point. All right, 24.
The viewers will get the point.
Bacteria growth.
Ew.
I remember these problems.
I feel like sometimes like I should go like in sync with like biology when they do this stuff where they're growing bacteria, and we should like figure out mathematically like how long it should take for them to get to the amount of bacteria that they want. I think that'd be kind of fun.
I started to write bacteria.
Bacteria. Got a little bit of an accent there.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I got to bag and then I realized.
A colony of bacteria is grown under ideal conditions in a laboratory. See, we could really do it with the science class. So that the population increases exponentially with time. I was about to say at time. That was embarrassing. At the end of 3 hours, there are 10,000 bacteria. That's scary. At the end of 5 hours, there are 40,000 bacteria. How many bacteria were present initially? So to a point, this is almost like our compounded continuously formula. It would be y equals y sub 0 e to the kt this time, though.
That says yoked.
Unequally yoked.
Can I ask you a quick one?
Yeah.
Did Shep finish third period?
Yes,
Third quarter?
Yes, I called the office and told him I reconcluded
All
his
right, 'cause
grade.
I'm doing honor honor roll. That's why.
Oh, yes, I
So he's-
reconcluded.
what it is,
Yep,
good.
what it is
Thanks.
where it stays. I don't know. Words aren't working. I guess these are equally yoked. Ouch.
That goes right when you walked
I was like,
Hey.
I never know if like Mr. Law's gonna like walk in when I'm like making a joke about something and be like, I mean, it's really serious in here.
Guys, you gotta pay attention.
All right, so to get from 3 hours to 5 hours, how many hours passed?
2.
2. Ow. So T equals 2.
Yay.
I like your yay.
Yay.
I stabbed myself in the neck.
Ow.
With the back. I went to do something and I was like, okay, so basically I'm going to go from 3 hours to 5 hours. So this is going to be my initial y sub 0. This is going to be y, and then I'm going to actually work backwards once I solve for k. So right now I'm trying to find k. So 40,000 equals 10,000 e to the k times 2. So this is e to the 2k equals 4. Hello? Oh, there it goes. So the ln of 4 equals 2k. So k equals the ln of 4 over 2. And I would go to, I don't know how many it'll go to, but go to 3 decimal places should be enough that it'll hold for what we need.
0.693.
Okay. So now, I'm going to come up here and do it. Now I'm going to replace and say I'm solving for y. I want to know how many bacteria I had initially. So there's different ways that I could possibly do this, but I'm going to say y equals 10,000 e to the 0.693 times. Now, what would t be if at 3 hours there was 10,000 and I want to know what there was initially?
Negative.
-3. So then we would just type that in as is. And this is going to tell us how many bacteria. And I just want a whole number of bacteria because I'm quite sure it's going to be a decimal. Because while we can have a half a bacteria, it only kind of sort of works, so.
1,251.
Yeah, jinx.
He said and I didn't.
Are we sure that it's 1?
It was 1250.5.
Okay. We must have rounded differently than the book. They had 1250. That's why I asked, are we sure that that's right?
1 moment.
They may actually, you know what? I bet they may have held this number, stored it, and used the answer. So when you do that, if this was the last thing that you had typed in, you can actually do 10,000 E raised to the second answer times that, and it might give us. But it doesn't matter. I mean, 1 off is not that big of a deal.
Does it?
Yeah. Yeah, that would explain it.
Okay.
Each
So like I
of the-
said, it doesn't matter.
Each of the, whatever the other thing was, times -3 is 0.125. So yeah, they'd end up with exactly 1,250.
Okay. Yeah. Which I kind of thought might happen, but I wasn't really sure. So anyways, it would be totally fine. No big deal. And on the exam, if this were a short answer question, which I have a hard time thinking it would be because there's not really calculus involved in it, but basically, as long as you show that you're using that, I think if you're going to use just this, what I would actually write here instead is I would write the ln of 4/2 if you were going to do that, where you're going to just use the answer from your calculator on there. But I mean, I don't think that this is going to be that. I think this is more inclined to be a free or a short or multiple choice question, not a free response question. If they even have this, I don't know. This is something we're supposed to cover, but I feel like it's just I don't know.
Sure.
All right, I don't think we have time to do Newton's law of cooling right now. Oh wait, today's only Thursday.
We have 4 minutes.
Right, but we have tomorrow. I was thinking today was Friday, and I was like, oh no, we're not gonna be able to finish this till Monday because I want us to test on Tuesday, so that we get this done and out of the way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give you problems up to where we are right now, and then we can go from there. 1, 3, 5, 9, 19, 21, and 23. So that should be, and with 19, I mean, you don't necessarily have to do the whole thing. I would definitely do continuously and then at least one of the other ones. But they're easy. All that you're changing is the K value, so it's really not that big of a deal aside from continuously. So I would choose A, B, or C and then also do D, basically. But it's up to you. If you want to do the whole thing, you can. But we just have Newton's law of cooling we'll do tomorrow, and then after that, I was going to say since we're leaving early, we could finish up the video then, or we could do this during 3rd period, and then 5th period could kind of be a work time or whatever. If
What about Chris?
he's not going to be here tomorrow during 3rd, that's why we went ahead and taught today in 3rd, so that we could just kind of do a work day, and then that way you could have, well, you said you already finished stats, right?
I finished.
Okay, so yeah, so it's not, you have been productive.
I know. It's been so nice to